is up, everybody? I hope you're having a good Saturday. I know I am, because I just got a new mixer for my third turntable, which I'm sure you saw the video somewhere around here a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now. But anyway, today we're comparing one mixer I've got to the second, the Numark M101 to the Numark M202, and I'm going to talk you through some differences that they got. Okay, so here we've got my Numark M101, which you can see I have upgraded at Christmas with the inner fader, so I mean that's a slight advantage to it, but forgetting about the fader of it, because obviously that one's going to be slightly different because the inner faders are kind of just brilliant on their own. We're going to basically just tell you what's going on. So this one, it is slightly smaller. I think it's like 9 inches, and this one is 9.5 by like almost a foot, and this one's just under a foot. So I mean this one's pretty small. They both got rack ears, but I'm pretty sure you can take them off and replace the faceplate. But let's talk you through what we've got on each channel. You've got your mic, which can go in here, Q for the headphones, which goes in here, which I've got the headphones here for, and then obviously 2 channels. You can have phono or line, so you could have technically 4 things plugged in it at once. Obviously I've got them set on phono because I've got the 2 turntables here, the Stanton T62s, and just the channel faders here. Simple, pretty simple channel faders. They start to get like a bit too loud if you do them here, but if you want to do a small fader, it's really cool. Obviously the inner fader, don't really need to go into too much about that because you saw the video. But here it's a really simple mix. So literally it's just like plug in your turntables, do whatever you need to do. You've got the crossfader and you just DJ and do whatever you need. It's got really simple kind of EQ controls, so there's just bass and treble, which can go plus or minus 30 dB. So I mean, sometimes when I want to transition, I just take out the bass a tiny bit, but you know, it's really not too in depth. It's mainly just focused on like being really quick and doing stuff with your hand. Obviously, I've only got the 2 turntables plugged in. You've got line inputs here, phono inputs here, and then the ground for them, and then only 1 output. So you can only have 1 output. That's going into the back of my stereo, into the speakers and stuff, because there are 4 inputs I've got plugged in on that, which starts to get confusing. So that's the mix done. It's just really simple. I think I got this one for like £40 or something. I may have got slightly ripped off because this was the first mixer I bought. I then bought this mixer, which turned out to be broken. So yeah, that wasn't a good purchase. Wasted £30 on that, which I never got back. And then over we come to the Numark M2. Now obviously you can see it's bigger, there's more stuff on it. I actually paid less for this than I did for that one. That one was second hand. This one was open, never used, and I paid like £10 less for it. But I think, you know, these are obviously more expensive generally, and I may have just been a bit stupid. But never mind, because I'm happy now. I've got everything I need, and I'm not really going to be buying anything else apart from records when the record shop's open. So here, obviously, we've got quite a few differences, mainly for like DJing, obviously, because the phono preamps and stuff are obviously the same. I've got my TR-8 plugged in here, and my turntable plugged into the phono, so that's obviously line and phono. But what we've got is obviously gain, master volume in the center. The mic, the only difference is the mic comes in the back, but obviously I don't use a mic, so I don't need to talk over anything. We've got 3 EQ bands on each channel, but this time they only go to plus or minus 12 dB. They still work pretty much the same. I think once you get to around like minus 20 or 15 or something, you can't really hit the difference. But it's quite good because you can get more of like a gentle curve. So instead of just whacking down the bass to minus 30, you can kind of put these down, that one to half, and it becomes more gentle and like easier to listen to and stuff when you're transitioning in. So that's pretty cool. One of the main differences obviously is if you don't have an inner fader like me, so on this one, say you just bought this for your main one, you can easily do stuff like it's got the, you can have normal or the hamster mode. So obviously normal, channel 1, channel 2. You push it down into hamster or reverse mode, this turns into channel 2 and this turns into channel 1, so some people like that more for, I don't know, like crowd scratching or stuff. And then you've got the crossfader slope, which you can change on the inner fader to literally whatever you want. You could make it totally random or whatever presets they've got. But here, although there are only 2 settings and some people may not like them, it's good to just be able to really quickly do it. So here you've kind of got the mix mode where it you know comes in gently. So here You can gently fade in a song, which is good if you want to, you know, like do some looping, some gentle looping or stuff. And then here you've got it where it just cuts into max like that. It's all max around here and then cuts out straight away for scratching and stuff. So that's pretty cool. The crossfader obviously is a bit sticky. It doesn't glide gently, but you know, I'm only really using this mixer for a preamp and also so that I don't have to have many inputs coming into the MPC. Because what I got here is obviously a stereo input on the MPC, but I've got 2 or 3 things plugged into this, so technically I've got 3 things coming into the MPC and that just comes out of here. I've then also got out of the record output of this mixer, I've got that coming into this stereo again, so that when I want to listen to records and stuff on this third turntable, I don't have to turn the MPC on and go into all its settings and listen to it. So that's pretty cool actually. Oh yeah, that's one other thing. The M2 has 2 outputs, so that's why, I mean, I would use this over here because it's obviously a slightly better mixer. I take out the inner fader and replace it, but I wanted the 2 outputs, and I think having 3 EQ bands for sampling is slightly better because you can isolate certain things. You know, maybe the horns might be in the mid, so I could take out the bass and the treble. Coming on to the Q section, if you want to DJ with it, obviously over here on the M101 we've just got Q gain and then Q mix. Pretty simple, all you really need. But here, what we've got is obviously Q gain, a slightly cooler Q mix system with the crossfader. It's slightly easier to just tap it over rather than having to get your whole hand and twist it every time. Then here we've also got this switch for the Q, so you can either go channel 1 and channel 2, and it goes off this crossfader. So obviously channel 1, you could have both of them, or you could just listen to channel 2. And then you can listen to what's coming out of the master. So the only reason I think I could see using that is if you're doing a gentle mix, you know, you're mixing in your song to the thing, you know, gently mixing it in and then flicking it over to swap songs at the end of one. You'd flip that to master so you can hear in your headphones more easily what you're actually doing, rather than just listening to channel 1 and channel 2 and having to kind of do both of these at the same time, which is stupid. But, you know, obviously this is probably the better mixer, so it's good to have those 2 options, and there's no sound difference between them. There's no like extra preamp boost or anything. It's literally just differently hearing what's coming out of your headphones, so that's really cool. I don't use the Q system on this, obviously. I mean, I sometimes do use it when I listen to records on headphones, maybe to see how the stereo image of them, so I just keep it on channel 1 because, you know, obviously that's coming into channel 1. I'm not sure what the original price for both of these are. I think they're probably around like £100 or something, but I got them second hand. So, you know, I buy all my stuff second hand. This was the only thing I didn't buy second hand because it was my first turntable, like proper turntable. I didn't want to buy it second hand because I wanted like a new needle and stuff. But anyway, let me know if you've got any questions about these 2 mixers, or let me know what the mixer you use and why it might be better than these 2, because, you know, I always like to see what kind of stuff you guys are using out there. Subscribe if you're not already, because we're coming up to 450, which is actually quite a huge number. Pretty excited about that. Thanks for watching, have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one.